So, fact is, there is a deer above my hotel room. Alright, I don't know what it's doing there, but it is what it is. Anyway guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to talk about how to produce music while you're traveling. Is it possible? Do you need studio monitors? Do you need a keyboard to produce music? Can you also release tracks with record labels? Do you have the structure to do this? In this video, I'm going to talk about all the things I went through the last 3 years with music production and all this stuff. Definitely make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel to not miss out any tech house production and mindset tutorials. And let's get straight into the video. So guys, I'm in my hotel room now and I'm just going to quickly explain you the story of how I traveled the last 3.5 years. 90 or 80% of the time I was traveling, and then 20% of the time I was actually staying in one spot producing music. And I was living in hostels, I was living in hotels and all this kind of stuff. And over this whole time when I was producing, I had different gear. I had a MacBook Air from 2014, which was a horrible laptop. It didn't work at all. Like I could use a few synthesizers, and as soon as I loaded up 3 or 4 synthesizers was horrible. So I upgraded my computer to a MacBook Pro from 2014 as well. At some stage I bought myself a keyboard from AMK, I think the AMK 250 keyboard or something like that. I produced with that keyboard for like half a year, and I had studio monitors from Pioneer. I had a DJ deck where I could just basically mix the tracks I just produced. So this whole time I had specific music gear, and traveling and music production is such a great thing because when you travel, you go through so many challenging times where you're by yourself and you don't really know, you're unsure where you're gonna go, where you're gonna be. There's always this uncertainty where you're gonna be and what's gonna happen. And music production helps you a lot of times to do something while you're doing nothing. Because traveling, you have amazing times in the day, you go to the beach, you go to a mountain, you go hiking, whatever. But then when you come home, you need to do something. And music production is so great because it gives you some sort of purpose, and it gives you also the opportunity to listen inside. And you can listen to those emotions you have and translate them into a track. And especially when you have a microphone, if you're good at singing, buy yourself a microphone. I paid like $40 for this microphone, I think, because it was on sale. I got my laptop, I got my studio headphones, and that is everything I need right now. And I already signed 13 tracks with 4 different record labels. So the fact is that I could improve my mixing, mastering, sound design skill, all of this just with those 3 things. I can just quickly show you actually. This is the studio, the microphone. There's my laptop, which is recording my voice right now here. And those are the Audio Technica studio headphones. And I would say that is more than enough. You don't need to make it complicated. I had a time where I had those monitors, and traveling with them was really, really difficult. And because I didn't have a car at all, it was really, really challenging. But in the end of the day, I realized that by focusing on the small things you need in music production, not all the time on like the most fancy plugins, I could travel for the last 3 years, sign 13 tracks for 4 different record labels. I could produce so much music, and just with the simple things. And honestly speaking, do you need a keyboard? No, you definitely don't. I had a keyboard for half a year. I used it a lot of times until I realized that this little keyboard, which had less than 2 octaves, or I think maybe maximum 2 octaves there, I couldn't really do much more with that than I could do with the keyboard of my computer. Like the keyboard of your computer is more than enough to produce great music, and you can play a lot, you can write melodies, complete bass lines and melodies down, and having a laptop is more than enough. So that's for sure for the music gear. Studio monitors is great because you listen to music in a different way. Like producing beats with studio monitors is a different vibe because you feel the bass, you feel the kick properly punching through. And with studio headphones, you just hear it. But with studio monitors, you actually can feel the bass and stuff. So it's definitely different. But even though all the tracks are released with record labels, I wouldn't say that I didn't even need once the studio monitors. I actually, maybe one of the tracks I produced, that's it. I have 1 track released with a record label, it's called Forest Love. And basically, I think I was in Gold Coast in Australia, and I literally just recorded my own voice in this microphone, pitched it down intensely, put it into a track, and this track was released by the record label Musicon just a few weeks ago. So definitely check that out as well in the link in the description. And if you haven't signed up for my 14-day Tech House Mastery course, it's an online course which teaches tech house production, sound design, mixing, mastering, arrangement, mindsets of pro tech house producers, and how to reach out to record labels so you get signed to record labels. Check out that in the link in the description. I have this full online course which explains everything. But yeah, I would definitely say that like traveling and music production is more than possible. It is challenging, right? It is challenging, but if you have the basic gear, what you need, and don't make it too complicated, and you set up your little studio while you have your laptop on a table, I've got to tell you that I've got really good at setting my stuff up in no time, like in literally no time. And because I don't have much gear, it makes it really easy to start to produce on a daily basis, and it's really possible. So in conclusion, I would tell you that music production traveling is definitely possible. I have to tell you though that the more you travel, the more often, more frequently you move from place to place, to different hotels, different places, the more difficult it is to get your energy to producing. Because if you stay in one place for 5 days, 7 days, maybe even a few months working there, or like just being in one spot, your focus is entirely in music production, because what else would you do in the day? But if you travel on a daily basis to different places and all this stuff, your focus goes away. I mean, I've been traveling in a van as well and producing music for 2.5 months. I've been living in a van, and I was moving from place to place on a daily basis, and that distracted me so much from music production. So it is possible, you can do it, but you have to find a routine where you actually set up your studio, you stay in place for a few days, and that makes it really easy then to produce music. Comment below this video as well if you have ever produced music and traveled for longer than 7 days. Tell me what your experience is. Other than that, guys, hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video.